go ahead and call this meeting to order. Nathan, would you take the roll, please?
Councilmember McPherson,
Here.
Councilmember Biggs,
Here.
Councilmember Laraway,
Yes.
Council President Bruce,
Yes.
Mayor Steer.
Here. And if you'll join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First item is the consent agenda. Any questions?
Mr. Mayor, some of the council members had questions about item E1, so I wanted to pull that and I believe make it item,
The step and grade policy?
yes, sir.
All right, so we'll make that item 7 one.
And then I move we approve the consent agenda with everything but item E1. Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Is there any further discussion on that motion? Nathan, would you poll the council?
Councilmember McPherson,
Yes.
Councilmember Biggs,
Yes.
Councilmember Laraway,
Yes.
Council President Bruce.
Yes.
And that motion carries. That takes us to public comment. Have Anna pause? If you would just push the button on the base of the microphone till it turns green, I think.
Got it.
And then name and address, please.
Yes, my name is Anna Paz, 1980 West Ardell, Kuna, Idaho. The reason I am here today is regarding the Kuna Trunk or Treat. This event happened last month, and it's such a great event that happened. It brought out 3,500 kids to Kuna. And as you guys are well aware, it was just behind the Kuna City Hall as well as our property as well. And the reason I'm here is because we're excited that that happened, and we're excited that Kuna is growing so much and that it brought all these kids out. But when it affects our pockets, then that's why I am here. The revenue for that day that we lost was over $20,000. And I just want to see, I don't want anything from you guys, but maybe there's something you guys can help with the Kuna Chamber and see if there's some type of money that you guys can provide for security for parking. That was our issue, that over 3,000 cars were just finding spots to park and just didn't have enough public parking. And so they just kind of overwhelmed our area. And so our customers thought we were packed, so they just didn't show up. So that's all I was concerned about, and I don't know if that is asking too much. I did have a meeting with the chamber, and I suggested that they hand over the trunk or treat over to the city to see if they can, figure out what they can do better to make this a better event. And I just feel like the Kuna Chamber is supposed to be helping the businesses and not affect them. So I just feel like their road is this way, and they're just kind of getting sidetracked of their priorities. So that is my concern, and maybe hopefully you guys can kind of understand my situation.
Sure.
We don't mind that it's happening, and we are willing to support it, but we don't know how else but parking, maybe having people at the end of our parking areas to kind of guide people to park elsewhere. Or any other suggestions are welcome, but I just feel like we've been dealing with this every year, and just this year was just overwhelming because Kuna's been growing growing so much so quickly.
Okay, well, we can certainly have our event coordinator get together with the chamber and with you and see if we can figure out something.
Okay, because I think their issues, they don't have any money. That's their reasoning.
Sure.
And I was like, well, it benefits the city, or it'll make the city look good that we're supporting the kids and stuff like that, and, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Thanks for letting us know.
Thank you.
That's all I had signed up. Is there anybody else who wishes to address the council? All right. That takes us to public hearings. Case numbers 2508S. Marina.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. For the record, Marina Lundy, Planner, CUNA Development Services Department. The application before you this evening requests preliminary plat approval for approximately 50.1 acres, already zoned R6, medium residential density, and to subdivide the site into 208 total lots, including 181 buildable lots, 19 common lots, 3 common drive lots, 3 emergency driveway lots, and 2 private road lots. The site is located at the northeast corner of East Cuna Road and South Cloverdale Road. The project will consist of approximately 7 acres of open space and an 8-foot walking path that connects the entire community to existing and proposed amenities. This pre-plat request is part of the overall Falcon Crest Master Plan community. Staff has reviewed the proposed pre-plat for compliance with CUNA City Code, Idaho statutes, and the CUNA Comprehensive Plan. And should the council approve the application, staff recommends the applicant be subject to the proposed recommended conditions as outlined in the staff report. I'll be here for any questions that you have about the application, and the applicant is present and has prepared a presentation.
Okay, is there any questions for Marina before she?
No, sir.
Okay. Yes, if, Mark Tate, if you would like to.
Good evening. Do you have the presentation? Oh, sorry. Probably in the packet somewhere. Look at you with that link. Thank you. While that's loading, Mark Tate, 1673 Shoreline Drive, Suite 100, Boise, Idaho, 83702 for the record. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Going back. All right, so let's see, well, we'll scroll around a little bit. So the part of the property that we're looking at tonight is the area wrapping the social club up here, and then it's a re-preliminary plat of this north area, which was part of the Golf Village preliminary plat. This area here, A, is built out. Builders are building in Medallion, this neighborhood here. This part is developed now. We just finished those phases. And the 55 and older portion of the community continues to plug away. That would be these areas here. And then the first couple of phases in parcel K, which is Valor West preliminary plat, just paved, and plats should be recording on those any minute now. And one of the more exciting things is the school is now going vertical on construction. So the site work is complete, foundation is in, and there's the Valor Academy, which is opening as a K through 7 school, and they'll be adding a grade every year going forward. That just leaves parcel L over here to the side, which we can't really see. Maybe there's a way to do that, maybe not. Yeah, parcel L is over there. That does not have a preliminary plat on it. That will be forthcoming, along with maybe 1 or 2 more preliminary plats eventually. Can't quite scroll over, sorry. These are just some project update photos. As you can recall, the project was annexed and zoned 5 or 6 years ago now. This is the Reveille neighborhood with a community pool, the driving range, the cadet 9-hole short course. And up here is the Valor Club, which we just held our groundbreaking on Veterans Day. Had a really great turnout and a nice event. Valor North is the preliminary plat that kind of wraps around this club site. Another view of the project, this is the River 6 restaurant and club facilities for the Trilogy community. That restaurant's open. I believe they're closed on Mondays and Tuesdays for lunch, but other than that, they're open. Really great restaurant if you haven't been there. The club's been a great success, a lot of traffic. And this is another view out towards the Valor Academy. So this is the Medallion neighborhood here. Valor Academy, you can see the construction going on over there in that part of the project. And if we go back up to the top, next to the Valor Academy is a future city park that'll be coming to you guys as part of a park improvement agreement. We're just finishing up some designs on that city park and really excited for what's planned out there. Been working with the city on those designs and an agreement similar to what we did when we built the Indian Creek Park on behalf of the city. There we go. So this is the development area around the Valor Social Club. You can see the site plan here of the social club and then the Medallion community over here. We're under development on subdivision 6 in this area right now. The property is already zoned 2 different zones, R12 for the area around the club, and R6 is what's already been preliminarily platted. You'll see from the site layout, we didn't go as dense as we could have with the R12 zone. We laid it out a lot of different ways, looking at different products, and just decided a small-ish lot, detached, single family was the right product for that area. So that's what you see here. It's not that different from what's on the other side of the golf course over here. So these are all detached single-family lots. On the smaller side, but not unusually small. Over here, you'll see we actually got rid of 3 lots from this area in the original preliminary plat approval. We went to a little bit larger lots. The reason for that is we're getting into some larger, more custom golf-oriented lots in that part of the community, selling more as individuals and custom home lots. The other big change for why we brought this back to you guys is we added a full street connection between the Medallion neighborhood, which is here, and this Valor North neighborhood, which will also now become part of the Medallion neighborhood. So there will be a second gated entry and a full street access. The original layout for this Medallion neighborhood didn't have a full street connection here. It just had an emergency access. We looked really closely at how can we actually squeeze a full road through there and make that workable, and we felt like we could do that. So I think it's a lot better for Medallion to have a second access. I know we've had some concerns from residents about the single point of access and traffic construction, that sort of thing already. So that was a big reason for this change. Here's a comparison. You can see the original preliminary plat just had a emergency connection right here and a cul-de-sac street, and now we've got a full street connection through there and second gated access. So there's the site plan with the club. So as of now, we've actually finished the putting green. There's an 18-hole putting course right here, and 2 bocce courts that are just getting finished up. We've redid the driving range. That's now complete. We're in a temporary pro shop over here. We just paved a parking lot in this area, and then we're gonna move the temp pro shop into a new temporary location over here as we build the permanent pro shop and cart barn, which is now under construction. We'll be submitting for a building permit shortly for the Valor Club over here, which includes the fitness facilities, another dining option, indoor pickleball, indoor golf simulators, group exercise. Really excited about getting that going as well, along with some outdoor pickleball courts and tennis. We also paved the first phase of the parking lot up here, and then once we finish the cart barn in this location, we're gonna knock down the old cart barn and finish more of that parking lot. So really excited that it's coming together. It doesn't feel like it was that long ago that we were here for the original approval. I know people that live there have been chomping at the bit to see every bit of it built, and we're trying to move as quickly as we can. But yeah, we're really excited to be under construction on this part of the club. Having the residential portion of it around it is gonna be great, very walkable. You also notice there's a multi-use path that we're building, connecting out to Cloverdale Road, where we're extending sidewalk all the way up the frontage there. So we'll have some really nice walkable pathways coming through here, some wider sidewalks along this corridor, and another connection up to the club up that hill as well. So a couple of renderings of what's going on out there. These bocce courts are now about 90% complete. Like I said, this practice putting green, putting course is in, and this is an outdoor television stand with seating around it in between the bocce court and the putting course. So this is actually an 18-hole putting course, so you can go out there with your buddies and your putter and your cocktail in your hand and have a good old time out there. So yeah, we're really excited about it. As far as the project itself goes, I think you're all familiar that we're annexed and zoned at this point. We comply with all the underlying zoning, and we're actually coming in with something quite a bit less dense than would be allowed under that zone. So with that, I would stand for any questions.
Okay, questions for Mr. Tate?
No.
Okay,
I actually do.
Councilmember Bruce.
Do you know when the doors open on the school?
They're planning to be open for next school year.
That's what, okay.
Yeah, so fall of '26.
That's all I had. Thank you.
Okay.
At this time.
We're actually holding the lottery drawing for the school here in February.
Yeah, I knew it was getting close, so
Yeah.
And I did ask them, I'll be back probably with another application. I just like to come see you guys all the time anyways. And to get a little bit more information on the address of who has submitted for it. So they already know they've got more people that have registered for the school than slots open, so which is a good thing. But they did say that looked like the significant majority of those who had registered are from the CUNA school district boundary area. So it would be a nice thing to take some pressure off of those schools, for sure.
All right, very good, thank you.
Yep.
All right, this is a public hearing. Tim Jensen with the CUNA School District.
Tim Jensen, CUNA School District, 711 East Porter Street. Just wanted to come up and talk about, we haven't been able to build a partnership with this developer, and we do appreciate them taking into consideration putting Valor Academy in to help with that pressure. But it's limited capacity, and with a project this size, it's the way the ratios are the studies have put out there, it's about 0.5 students per household. And with the limited capacity that Valor Academy is going to take, there's still going to be an overflow of those kiddos being able to, or coming to our district. And And Councilman Bruce asked a while back, you know, kind of, you know, for me to go back and talk what, you know, what is our long-term plan, you know, because as we've talked multiple times before, public schools are reliant on bonds and levies in order to build new buildings and do that. And so as I've talked with our district team, we, you know, portables is kind of the first thing people talk about. Well, those come with a fairly substantial cost as well. You can't just throw them up, you know, you've got ADA compliance and plumbing and electrical and security and all that stuff that has to go in as well. And so it's one of the reasons, you know, because of it's not just a CUNA school district thing, it's a district across the state, that reliance on having to pass bonds, and we talk with our developers on helping us some way mitigate, you know, offset the costs of the impact. And so it, you know, I understand there's a lot that has already been done in this project, and, you know, and I don't know if it'll help at all for me to be up here, but it's just, you know, as we've talked about, you know, what we're gonna have to do if we keep putting sizable projects like this in place to answer, you know, the question you'd asked. You know, we're at that point of down the road at some point in time, and I don't have a time frame of what that is, but, you know, we have to talk about other options as far as like shifted schedules, you know, so AM, PM shifts of kids being able to go to school, you know, have a group that goes from, say, 7:30 to 1:30, and another group that comes in from 2 to 8, or whatever the case may be. And we have to look at those different options and the flexibility, you know, because if we can't put portables in, then what can we do when we're at that point? You know, and an example of this development, you know, most of you know, I'm the principal at Fremont Middle School as well. This is in our boundaries. And we're currently, as of just this week alone, we've taken in 8 new students to our building. And last year after Christmas break, we had 12 new students come into our building after Christmas break alone. So with those 6 new students, my building is currently at 26 kids over capacity. And so if we get, you know, our normal, you know, influx after break, and then with the developments going, it just puts us out on having to have those conversations sooner of what are our options as we're continuing to put more kids into buildings. So anyway, sorry, I went over my time. I'll stand
you're
for
fine.
questions.
Yes.
So when you say capacity, that capacity, is it based on like the state student to teacher ratio, or are we talking fire code?
No, we're talking, we have and I'll speak for Fremont, so we have a 32-to-1 ratio, and that's 32 students per teacher ratio in my building. And so what that equates to in my building, because I have 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, that's 160 students per grade level. And currently right now I have 176 7th grade students and 168 6th grade students. So when these kids enroll, that will go up to 178 and 171 in 6th grade. And so it's just, we're starting to see, you know, just that influx come in, but that ratio I'm talking about are those numbers. And that's what helps to keep us in code, in compliance with code. So
The reason I ask is some of these numbers, like at the high school, are also getting pretty high. And that's one way, at what point do we end up getting close to that fire code?
yeah, and
Because there's safety concerns as well.
Absolutely, and that's, you know, and that's one of the things we talk about, you know, as we go over capacity, one of the things we're very conscious of is, you know, not putting, we easily could put 37 kids in a classroom. I shouldn't say easily, it's a space thing, but then it becomes a safety issue. You know, if you've got a fire that we've got to evacuate for, then it's a safety issue. And it's for all those reasons, and I actually appreciated your question about, you know, what is that long-term plan to do this, and ultimately, you know, we are relying on our legislature to help us out. You know, we're the only state left in the nation that requires the supermajority vote to pass a bond, and so it's, yeah, we're just kind of stuck in a pickle, and so it has forced us to have to, you know, have different conversations.
Very good. Councilmember Laraway.
You mentioned some of the classrooms that you have are starting to hit the fire code problem. So why then wouldn't we go buy portables no matter what they cost for safety reasons?
I mean, it's a cost thing for the district. We just don't have that funding to be able to go out and purchase, portables to just be able to place. And, you know, I would love to be able to put a couple of them behind my building. That would absolutely help, you know. But it's just a cost thing. And actually on our capital projects list, we've actually, you know, I've been out talking with developers, we've put portables on that list and are talking about that growth thing of like, hey, maybe help us, you know, put a portable behind Kuna High School or behind Fremont Middle School, or, you know, just wherever, because we're just trying to be as open-minded about where we can get the help as possible. And so,
I guess the reason I ask this is there's 3 or 4 of them over at the old STEM location that are just sitting there vacant. They're already ADA qualified because that's what they were. They were schools. Why wouldn't the school district get those?
So that's a great question, and I'm in the process of checking into that right now, and I don't have an answer for you right now. I wish I did, but it's again, the conversation that we brought about is like, what is the holdup, or what is it with, you know, the Pi campus Pi STEM campus that is keeping us from maybe utilizing some of that space,
Yeah,
or the facilities, like you said.
Yeah, because when that property was approved for sale when we were here before, I think the developer just wanted to get rid of them, and the school district didn't want them.
I remember when that one came up, because I'm almost positive there was another project that belongs to West Ada, and those are going to West Ada, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but they,
It was
talked about
the one on Deer Flat, or not, Lake Hazel,
Lake
and,
Hazel.
and, yeah.
You're talking about
Those
the one
were
just-
purchased, or something like that, and they were gonna give them to Victory Middle School, or Meridian High School, something like that.
yeah, they're still there. Boarded up. Anyway,
Like I
thank you.
said, we're on the same page with that, and
Thank you.
I have a question.
Councilmember Bruce.
Well, it's more of a statement. I appreciate what you say. I think, or what you come up and tell us. I think from our point of view is that we've been open to denying projects for school capacity, but then the district will come back and say, well, we're partnered with them, and we have a partnership with them, but we don't see how that actually adds capacity to the issue, right? So if you had something that said, well, we partner with this development, or if you went and got a plan that said we're gonna put in 6 modulars or 10 and have the cost and everything, I think developers would partner with you and maybe even come out and do some of the work themselves, that they could get it done at a less cost, but they're seeing that we are growing capacity. On the other side of that, when parents see that, hey, we're gonna have to move these kids into mobile units, maybe they come out and support a bond. I think our bond is 66% supermajority, but it's in the Constitution, if I'm not mistaken, so it would be a constitutional amendment, not just an updating code. But those are the things that I have trouble with, is that, you know, they're building a middle school or up to middle school level here right before it, I think 7th grade, and then they'll add some.
Right.
So that's gonna ease the burden on those. But until we see an actual plan of how we're gonna ease it, you know, them showing up saying we can't service it, but we have a plan, and we don't know where that money's going to actually add capacity, it's just hard for us to quantify what that means. So, you know, those are just the things I would take back to the planning department or your capital improvements department. Said, look, let's spend the money to see what we're gonna need. Because it may be a while before you pass a bond, it may be the next couple of years. But at least if you have it down and you said, this is the number we need, this is what we need to move forward, then we can look at it and say, hey, we can't move forward until we find some seats to put kids in. So just a thought, so.
Okay.
But I appreciate you coming forward, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything further?
thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gray.
Thank you, sir.
That's all I had signed up to testify. Is there anybody else who wishes to testify in this matter didn't get a chance to sign up? All right, seeing none, would you care to?
Mark Tate again for the record. I probably don't need to get on my high horse about schools, but I'm going to anyway. I can appreciate the position that Kuna School District is in. We do support fully the Kuna School District, and we've supported their bond initiatives. We really want to be a good neighbor for them. You know, like Councilman Bruce pointed out, there are some developers who have paid some nominal fee to get support from a school district. We've quite literally added hundreds of new open seats for CUNA School District schools. No other development has done that. No one has done anything near that. We're talking about millions of dollars investment for CUNA schools and residents of CUNA. So I do take it a little bit personally that there's still, you know, testimony against our project when we've literally donated millions of dollars towards school children in CUNA. And I know it's not part of the CUNA School District, so they're not getting those state dollars for those kids, but they're kids in seats, they're kids in classrooms, they're kids with teachers, and we're super excited about the Valor Academy, and I think it's a great benefit for CUNA School District to have it in the area. So that's all I have to say.
Okay,
Any
any
questions?
further
Yeah.
questions?
Yep, I guess,
Councilmember Biggs.
so, going to a little bit different subject, the R12, R6,
Yep.
and there's no transition between. I'm just kind of curious what led to that determination.
As far as kind of the product selection
Yes, sir.
over here, we tested a number of attached products in this area. When we originally zoned the club area, we knew there would be some combination of residential and club in that area, and we didn't have the site plan quite yet for the social club. Having density around the club is highly desirable because just the walking distance, people that want to have maybe a second home or something like that, you know, it's really a great amenity lifestyle versus, hey, I've got a bunch of space and a big backyard. It's like I want to be where the action is, near the club, near the restaurants, the golf, that sort of thing. You know, we looked at, you know, everything from fourplexes, duplexes, out in that area, and just felt like, you know, there's a certain size of home that people are still gonna want, and it made sense, given the kind of overall project density that we're going for, that a detached product there made the most sense, rather than trying to squeeze in every last unit that we could.
Well, so I guess, and the reason, there is a little bit of method to my question, because I've driven through Valor many times, and I've noticed the duplex on the southwest side, I guess, as well as, well, that's pretty much it. I mean, they're all R6 in most of the other locations, so I was just kind of wondering why I went to a townhouse, tall and narrow, versus the
Right.
duplex, model.
Yeah, this is some
And
duplex
then
product over here.
Are these all open to everybody? These aren't, because I know you have a significant at 55 and older community.
It is, yeah, so of the whole project, there's 1,000 units here that is age restricted, so 55 and older, so no student generation from that area. Everything else is not age restricted, but, you know, this neighborhood Reveille and so far in Medallion, it's still almost exclusively 55 and older in that product, and we would anticipate it to be the same up here. Down in this neighborhood, we're targeting more of a family buyer, you know, with the city park and the school. I think that we're gonna open that up to a lot more families. And I think that's gonna be, you know, very nice. Strangely enough, just so everybody knows, the boundary for the CUNA School District runs right here. And so everything on that side is in the West Ada School District, and everything on the, east side here is West Ada, west side is CUNA School District. So most of what we're doing is actually more of a 55 and older product, so we don't have the same generation rate, but we will be able to draw, you know, with the Valor Academy, from both sides of that. Yeah.
Okay,
I had one more question.
Councilmember Bruce.
So I'm looking at the ACHD planned improvements. It looks like Lake Hazel and Cloverdale, they're gonna widen it and then put a signal up in 2026. Everything else is about 10 years out. Do you think that'll be a problem for your community? Do you think they'll have, any of those will need to be updated before that, or what?
I don't think it'll be a problem for us, but it's something that I've actually started talking to the city about and directly to the ACHD commissioners. ACHD just adopted maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago a new capital improvement plan, which they do every year, which is basically their 5-year construction project plan. Some of the Cloverdale projects have been on that plan for construction, you know, within the next 2 years for about 5 years.
Yeah.
And I recently had 2 of the commissioners out to the Valor project ahead of that capital improvement plan vote and just said, look, you know, this is the fastest growing community in the entire Treasure Valley. And, you know, you continue to prioritize projects in downtown Boise and urban, you know, rebuilding of roads here and there, and you're kicking the can down the road on projects that are critical, like Cloverdale Road. And so we're a big, you know, we see that as really important. I don't see it as, you know, a huge problem now, but it's one of those things that if you continue to keep kicking the can down the road and saying, hey, we're gonna go spend, you know, over here on this pet project and that pet project, that it's gonna be a big problem. So,
Yeah, I would,
Yeah,
I would
they're-
like to see the money that's taken out of our area put back into our area and
and
not
that was-
spent in the north side of the county.
that was my
or-
argument, as, you know, between our project and, you know, the adjacent project, especially they're looking at raising the impact fee to, you know, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. You know, we're talking about generating north of $30 million in impact fees for roads out of this project. And I said, it is unacceptable to continue to push Cloverdale, you know, off and off and off. The thing is designed and has been for multiple years, from Overland to, I think, Victory.
Yeah,
So,
I was
it's
just curious.
definitely
Yeah.
something that, you know, CUNA needs to be aware of. I think the big problem is, you know, a lot of that growth south of Overland is technically in the county. And the way that ACHD's been operating is they kind of go to all the cities and go, hey, what are your priority lists for the projects that you would like to see? Well, there's nobody advocating for this, you know, area, you know, off of Cloverdale Road, because it's sort of a no man's land of representation. And I really appreciate ACHD Commissioner Goldthorpe, who, you know, represents this district, and he's fighting
Yeah.
as hard as he can fight, but he's only one voice on a commission that's clearly
Leans heavily Boise.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also you add the 7,000 possible houses around Micron too.
Right.
You know, that's
Well-
something that we should get ahead of. So I won't get
feel
down
like there
that.
should be a soapbox under
Yeah,
here, but
so
you know,
I appreciate you keeping an eye on it, because, you know, we've addressed traffic a lot up here as being one of the number one concerns that
Well,
we're dealing with, so.
in the city of Boise actually just took the Lake Hazel connection off of their priority list. It was their number one priority, and then they just decided to take it off the list completely, and that's the connection from Cole Road basically out to Micron.
Yeah.
And I don't have any understanding of why they would have done that. There's gotta be some.
I could speculate, but I won't.
Yeah, but, you know, that connection, again, for any employees living south of the freeway, I mean, it's vital, so.
Thank you.
We do stay very, you know, try to be connected and look out for the greater good out here in CUNA, so,
Thank you. That's all I have, Mr.
Very
Mayor.
good. Any further questions?
Thank you.
thank you.
All right, thank you.
I move we close evidence presentation, or did you guys have any other questions?
No, sir.
Councilman Biggs. I move we close evidence presentation and move to deliberation.
Second. Motion's made and seconded. Any further discussion on that motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Anybody wanna? Okay, I'll tell
Well,
you
I think
what.
it's, I think
Yeah.
that it's good that they've cut down the density by making those single-family lots, and that has substantially reduced the number of homes that will be there and families, so I think that's a good thing. Then obviously it's a golf course, so there's a lot of green space, so that's also a good thing.
I mean, it's already been annexed. I think it's, they've added a school. Some of the traffic improvements are coming. I think we just need to, as a council, stay on ACHD about some of that, the traffic that's happening out here. They put
Certainly.
a good project together.
Yeah.
So,
And they impact the, demarcation line.
yeah, I won't get down that rabbit hole with that, but yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I see a lot of subdivisions in this valley, Star, Caldwell, Middleton, and it's nice that we have one that's put together so well, and it's just nice when you drive in it. I mean, we have some other ones in town too, that did a good product and good layout and everything, but as far as following through with what they said and then coming back in and actually coming in under, capacities of, or, zoning
Yeah.
and whatever, just so it makes a better end product for them. It's nice. I've heard people rave about the restaurant, never been there yet myself, but it's nice to see a good product being built.
I think he's right on too with the age, the older group of folks who are moving out there.
Right.
They have a group of ladies out there that are great. I won't speculate on that, but their age restricted community's pretty, got some good folks in it. So, I don't, even if we wanted to, I don't see a path forward to stop it, to deny it. So I think it's a good project. I move we approve case number 2508-S.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded to approve case number 2508. I'm assuming with the staff recommendations.
Yes, sir.
Any further discussion on that motion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion carries.
Thank you.
That takes us to business item E1 that was on the agenda for the step and grade policy.
So I had a couple of council members ask about it, so I just wanted to open it up to them. I guess they would address the HR. They were just concerned, are we not doing, well, I'll let you go ahead.
Well, my conversation was why are we doing something for just Parks and Rec and the fleet and not the whole totality of the city department? I mean, it's one ship, one crew, should be one policy, one advancement. You see what I'm saying, HR wise?
Well, I think those do come through at different times, though. We've done some at Public Works for, we did one that was sewer crew only. There was a time where wastewater treatment workers were paid the same as water treatment workers when the job is actually much more messy. So those were addressed here a while back. And I think so then it came time with parks and stuff. So I don't know, maybe Justine or Chris can address that better. But it's not that we don't do the whole city
Yeah,
all at once. We've been working on them as we go.
I remember we had done some. I think I just thought we were addressing it as a whole, but I understand what he's saying. So
Yeah, it's different certifications, so there's incentive to, like the sewer guys have to maintain certain licenses to do what they do.
certifications.
Certifications.
And
Plus, the
also-
water they step in is a little different than the water the other people step in.
That is correct, yes. So,
I mean, I understand that, I guess. I'm just trying to be simple. I usually think of, like in the military or in other government, you have grades. And then you could attach certain jobs to those grades, certain certifications to those grades across a whole bunch of spectrums rather than, having each department having their own policy. It was just a question.
Yeah.
I'm not criticizing it by any means.
We're gonna
Just a
burn the
question.
flag, we just had a question.
Okay.
I'm good.
I move we approve.
I think Justine was gonna talk.
Justine Ettinger, sorry, HR generalist. It's exactly what you guys have discussed. It's the different certifications, the different hours of service, that sort of thing. And then because of each department, they do have different certifications that they do have to maintain. And then along with Public Works with water, sewer, it's very similar with parks because they have construction, grounds, fleet, facilities, all of that. So it is just kind of based off of those factors.
Okay.
Is this typical for other cities too? Do you know? Is this just a thing? Because I come from the federal side, and we have, whether you're a GS-12,
The dark side?
yeah. Yeah, you have a GS-12, and you could be a doctor or a nurse, and you could also be IT, you could be facilities, and they all have their own, and it's all mapped different ways, so.
So I'm not completely familiar with other cities, so I can't, I don't want to give you a definitive answer.
No problem.
But I am aware that they are kind of split up like we are, and from before we've just seen that this is the best way that able to serve our employees and make sure that our city runs efficiently, and yeah.
If it works.
And that way we can
Well,
keep,
so, one thing that's brought about some change here is that we always, look for wage comparisons when we're hiring. And it used to be such a thing, you had to do a wage study and a rate, pay a bunch of money for that, so you didn't do that very often. Now we're part of a system where if we have a job that becomes available, we can log into that system and see if we're within normal range of what the other cities are and what everybody else is doing. So sometimes those pop up, and then we can see that they also, there's pay increases for certifications that you get. So if you do have more training in other areas, you can actually start making a little more. So we encourage people to go through that ongoing training and that type of thing. But this is being able to have access every time we're gonna hire somebody to this system now, so that we don't have to do a wage study or, like the last time that we ended up having to do that, we actually, the city of Eagle did a wage study, and so HR went and bought lunch so that we could talk to their people to find out what they found out, and we don't have to go through that cumbersome process anymore, so that's been very helpful. So these may come up a little more often now and then, just because keeping
Just
up with
making
what
them
other
uniform.
cities are doing.
okay.
I'm good.
I'm happy.
I move we approve, resolution R 2025.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded for approval. Is there any further discussion on that motion? All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? And that motion carries. And that is all we have on the agenda for tonight. The Christmas parade and Christmas tree lighting is this coming Saturday.
I'd like to welcome
Yes.
Chris.
And Chris, yes, welcome.
We should have thrown some questions at him, but
I know, I forgot to call him for lunch today too, so next time. I used to give Bobby Guff every council meeting day, so now he gets to do it.
Oh, good, good, good.
BSU Mountain West Championship on Friday night.
Yeah.
It'll be a little chilly, a little snowy maybe, rainy.
Yeah,
Going for
good
3D.
stuff. All right, well, that's all I have. Anybody have anything else? All right. Well,